Hey, what's up YouTube? So in this video, I'm going to teach you about compression. It's a tool that us photographers like to use to create separation between our subjects and our background. And I'm going to show you how to do that, even if you don't have the best of equipment. So stay tuned. Alright, so this video is about compression. It's a tool that us photographers like to use to create that nice looking out of focus background on our subjects. Whether that's going to be focusing like on a rock, a flower, or something else that you find in nature, even wildlife, or better yet, it's the best tool to use when taking pictures of people, when you're doing portraits. Even if you don't have the best of equipment, you know, this is still a really good concept for you to learn, especially if you're just starting out. And then it's going to help give that appearance of that separation between your subject and that background. So, recently, I took a trip down to the wetlands to show you exactly how compression works and run through some photos for you and show you that video now. Alright, so we're entering the wetlands right now. This is a place that I come out shoot very often. Here with my wife today, who's going to be sort of my assistant and maybe the guinea pig for a few of the portraits. But yeah, I love shooting out here. There's such a diversity out here to shoot. There's a lot of animals that are out here. Just a lot of little interesting parts to the park. Takes a long time to explore it all. I think it took me 3 or 4 trips to really see everything out here. And even then, you know, the landscape's always changing. So I think this is a great spot to do this lesson, and I really hope you get something out of it. So let's get started. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I got the one that I want to shoot, and I'm going to take a picture. I'm going to start at 2.8 so you can see the background blur. I'm going to shoot, I have the 50 to 140 lens with me right now, so I'm going to shoot at 50 and then I'm going to shoot at 140, so it's equivalent to 70 to 210 on a full frame camera. So at 50, okay, now that was at 50, and I'm going to zoom out to 140 for 200. We're getting great background blur with that. So now, here's where compression is going to come into play. Alright, so let's say this lens zoomed out is only going to do 5.6 at the best. Alright, so I'm going to go all the way up to 5.6. So now, we're going to shoot that again at 50. Okay, trying to keep the same composition. Now we're going to shoot it at 200. So if you still think you can't get background blur, here's where you're going to still be able to get that bokeh, even if you don't have the best of equipment. Okay. Still getting beautiful background blur. Still getting great bokeh, still getting great colors, and you know, I'm shooting it, you know, literally, you know, 2 stops in aperture, you know, above from the other one, from 2.8. So just because maybe your lens starts at 3.5 and ends at 5.6 doesn't mean that, oh, I can't do this or I can't do this. Go out and take the shot. You never know, you might really surprise yourself. And if you're using this tool of compression correctly, you can still get some beautiful pictures, you know, if you're standing back from your subject and zooming in on it. I'll take a few more shots and show you that even at 6.3, I'm still going to get some beautiful background blur. So what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to throw those photos up for you, hopefully in the increments, so that way you can see, you know, from one difference from the next. And that, you know, it isn't always your equipment that dictates how good of a picture you can get. It's you, the photographer, that dictates how good of a picture that you end up with. Okay, so I want to show you the same thing real quickly here, but I'm going to use my wife as the guinea pig for the portraits. So, same idea. This time I have a little bit more flexibility with my feet. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how getting close at 50 and shooting at 2.8 and 5.6 and even 6.3. And then I'm also going to step back then and show you how compression works. And I'm going to shoot at 2.8, 5.6, and 6.3. Okay, I'm going to do one more quick example for you. I'm going to actually just take some quick pictures of my GoPro, and then I'm just going to use the leaves and the green in the background to show you again what kind of background blur and bokeh you can achieve even at higher, f-stops. Alright, so I quickly want to run through like the pictures that I took for this video. So I'm up here in Lightroom, and what I want to show you is that these images are the JPEG images that came right out of the camera. As you can see over here, I haven't I haven't edited them. I haven't done anything to them. Nice thing about Fuji is that the lens correction's built into the lens, so these are straight from the camera. So this is the shot that I took at 50 millimeters. This actually ended up being 52 at 2.8, and you can see that there's still background blur. You're still getting some bokeh here in the background, but you can still tell, like, the background's not blown out. And then look at all these objects in the foreground and in relative plane, on the relative plane of where I was focusing, which was this one right here. And you can see that all these things are in focus too, pretty much. So your depth of field is a lot wider. Now, what I want to show you is when you go to zoom in on at 140, or what would be like 210 on a full frame at 2.8. Now look at the compression. So what you're doing is I'm compressing the scene and I'm shortening the depth of field. It's still focusing on the same subject, but now look at the separation that I'm getting from my subject and from the background. Big difference from this one to this one. I mean, we can even zoom in here and you can see, you're still getting some background blur here, but I mean, it's nothing compared to what you're getting here on this one. Zoomed in, the level of detail that you're getting, on the subject, and then the out of focus area is, perfect. So, moving on, what I really want, what I'm really trying to teach you with this is that here's 5.6 at 50 millimeters. And, unfortunately I couldn't move in with my feet to still try to, create that compression. I was kind of stuck where I was, but I mean, this is a good example of why having a longer lens, even if it shoots, 5.6 on the long end, is still very useful. So you can see at 5.6 a lot of the pictures in focus. Now, if we switch to where we've zoomed in, now we have, great separation here. You still have some good, bokeh in the background and background blur. So again, focusing on the subject, and then you have good out of focus here. So, I mean, this would be perfect for taking portraits, because then you would have your person in focus, and then, this would be like, let's say, their head and body, and then this would be the background. And I'm going to show you that too. Here's the 6.3, actually 6.4, because Fuji doesn't do 6.3, but same thing. Still getting, fairly good separation from the subject and the background. So I want to show you, like on this one, this is 50 millimeters. I had a little more flexibility, like I said, and I was able to walk in with my feet and create a little bit of compression with my feet. But at 50 millimeters at 2.8, it's got an okay background, it's not too bad. A lot of things are in focus. So compositionally, I just like this one better, because now I can actually show you, 50 at 5.6. A lot of things are in focus. You can you know, I mean, you're pretty much seeing the leaves and the tree and everything, you know. And 50 at 6.4, same thing, you know, you're getting most of everything around here is in focus. So now if I, you know, like I said, I took a step back with my feet and zoomed in on my subject, my wife, and now you're getting you know, that separation. See, now you can see there's background blur here, and all around her. There's a great blowout back here in this background, whereas, you know, on 50-2.8, you know, there wasn't as much. This is much smoother here. And this is another one at 2.8 that I took. Same thing, you know. See how out of focus that leaf is right there, and the great separation there, even through these leaves right here along her hairline. You know, if we zoom in, you know, look at how sharp the hair is compared to the separation of the background. So even the tree right here is, you know, has a little bit of fall off on it. So that's, you know, that's really nice. It'd be a very usable portrait, you know, if I was using, you know, actually for a client. And then same thing here, this is 5.6, and again, this is where I'm really trying to show you that even on a crop sensor camera at 5.6, you know, if you zoom all the way out, you know, step back, zoom all the way out, and use this, you know, use compression as a tool towards your advantage, you know, you're still getting, you know, background blur here, you're still getting bokeh, and definitely blowing out this background back here. But for me personally, you know, I like keeping a little bit of the leaves in the tree here. It gives your subject a little bit a sense of space and time, and you know, they're not just, you know, on a completely blown out background and you have no idea, you know, if it's, you know, where they are or you know, or what's going on. This still gives you some semblance of space. And then quickly here at 6.4, you know, they're starting to become things that, you know, these are starting to become a little more sharp, but still getting, you know, look at the, you know, the background, and this is still, you know, nicely blown out. And so, I mean, it's still very usable. And with the GoPro images, we'll just go through these really fast. I like this background right here with these leaves, and I thought this was a good example to use. So you can see the GoPro here. This is always zoomed out at 140 or would be 210 on a full frame, and this is at 2.8, and we'll just go right to 5.6. You can see you're still getting, you know, these are closer to the subject than, you know, and than she is to this. So, you know, it's all relative space, but you can still see that you're getting nice, you know, out of focus area, you know, behind the subject. And same thing, you know, this, you know, it's starting to become more in focus at 6.4, but still it's nicely out of focus, and it would still be a nice background and still a usable, you know, image. Alright everybody, thank you for joining me for this video. I hope you found the information really helpful, and I hope you go to use it. You know, it's valuable information, especially when you're first starting out. And even when you're not just first starting out, it's just a valuable, you know, tool for you to use to help improve your photography. So, hope you like it, hope you enjoyed it. Give me a like, comment, share the video, and I'll see you next time.